Certification Center commits to a higher standard.
Okay, a very well welcome to all of us for joining us today's session. My name is Hope Komla Mensayiwo Cornell, and I'm so thrilled to be part of today's discussion. And interestingly, we've just had a beautiful year, beginning of a beautiful year, and today we are going to commence our HR Roundtable discussion, first of its kind in the year 2025. And with Gen Z rapidly becoming a dominant demographic in the workforce, organizations must adapt their workforce planning strategies to attract, engage, and retain this generation. Our discussion today will be focused on understanding the unique characteristics of Gen Z, their expectations from employers, and how HR leaders in Ghana can craft resilient workforce strategies that align with their needs while navigating economic uncertainties. It is our expectation also that our participants would be able to have a deep understanding of Gen Z's expectations and priorities in the workplace, practical strategies to attract and retain Gen Z talent in a competitive and volatile economy, insights into aligning workforce planning with Gen Z skills, aspirations, and values. And you also have the ability to have talent, the tools to foster a culture of engagement, innovation, and adaptability for this generation. The topic is strategic workforce planning for Gen Z talent. This has been one of the topics that we had in the year 2025 and all over the platforms that we had HR discussions. And then it has also become a very key thing for us to start a year with. And then I just want to ask, so who are these Gen Zs, by the way? The age range for Gen Z is generally defined as those born between 1997 and 2012. So if you are born within this year, you are a Gen Z. Okay. And it's not wrong to be a Gen Z. Um, so I before coming up for this session, I was looking into some articles and some things that I saw online, and permit me to just take you through this. And this is what it's been said: how Gen Zs have crafted their own Bible for themselves. So it says, so like there was this girl named Mary who was engaged to this guy called Joseph. Joseph's farm was from the house of David, and Mary, she was a total virgin. And then this angel sliced into her DMs like, yo, what's up? Hey, girl, you are totally favored by the big man upstairs, God himself. You are blessed AF compared to all the other ladies out there. Hashtag winning. And like when she saw him, she was totally shocked by what she said. And she started thinking, like, what kind of greeting is this supposed to be? The angel was like, chill, Mary. God totally approves of you. No need to stress. Yo, what's up? I'ma drop some news on you. You are gonna get pregnant and have a baby boy. And guess what? You're gonna name him Jesus. This is so fascinating for me. Whilst Gen Zs have been able to craft their own version of the Bible, it's interesting for me. So why wouldn't an employer change things to suit the current generation that we find ourselves in. I mean, the kind of workforce that we find ourselves in. If you don't change the narrative, if you don't change how we look at things, we will not be able to attract this crop of youngsters. Permit me to tell you that this HR Roundtable is brought to you proudly by the HR Certification Center. And then the HR Certification Center is the proud providers of Associate Professional in Human Resource International, Professional in Human Resource International, and a Senior Professional in Human Resource International. I'm happy to do this not by myself alone, and I have two distinguished guest speakers to help me do this. Before I introduce or read their profile, Mata, can you give me a wave? Hi, how are you doing, Mata? Hi, Solomon. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you? And Happy New Year.
Really happy returns. We haven't met this year.
Yes.
Mata, how are you doing?
I don't look like how I feel. I'm sure you can
I
see I'm
know.
sounding nasal. Yeah,
I
this
know.
week has been tough, but we'll survive. Yeah, I'm
I
in
know.
fevers and all of that, but yeah.
You will
Okay.
navigate. You will navigate it.
Yeah.
Sure. So for my first guest speaker, Mata Safwa Bache is a passionate HR leader with over a decade of experience in the fields of human resources, customer service, project management, and people management. As the head of people and development at Romotali, Mata oversees all aspects of employee engagement, performance management, talent onboarding, employee culture, and organizational development.
Right.
Mata's career began with a bachelor's degree in psychology and in English from University of Ghana, followed by a master's degree in human resource management from University of Ghana Business School, a certificate in human resource management from University of Minnesota, senior professional in human resource international. Her educational background combined with her strategic vision and empathetic leadership style has driven significant cultural transformations and operational efficiencies in every organization she has been part of. Mata is particularly passionate about creating workplaces where employees feel valued, supported, and inspired to do their best
Yeah.
work. Mata, such a beautiful profile. I mean, for my second guest speaker, in the person of Solomon T. Sakite. Solomon, do you mind telling us the T? Is it Taki?
Tete.
Tete. Oh, awesome. Nice one. He's a seasoned human resource professional with over 17 years of progressive experience across the industry. A certified senior professional in human resource international. He possesses comprehensive expertise in strategic HR management, workforce planning, talent acquisition, employee relations, training and development, and performance management. Mr. Sakite is currently the Deputy Human Resource Manager at Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority headquarters. He joined GPHA from Prime Hedge Investment Limited, having previously held significant roles at Worldwide Healthcare Limited, Far East Group, and IGI Insurance. Academically, he holds a Master of Commerce degree from Pentecost University and an MSc in International Business from the University of Ghana. He's presently pursuing a PhD in Business Administration, that's Strategic and Innovation at NIBS University, Accra. Mr. Sakite is an active member of several esteemed professional bodies. He's a full member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Ghana, a chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Ghana, CILT, a member of Association of Certified HRs, ACHR, a certified member of the Professional Managers Association UK, NPMA. In addition to his certification, he holds an advanced graduate diploma in logistics and transport UK and a graduate diploma in industrial relations from the International Professional Managers Association, IPMA UK. With a proven track record of delivering strategic HR initiatives and fostering organizational growth, Mr. Sakite continues to drive impactful change in the dynamic field of human resource management. A warm welcome to you, my guests, Martha and Solomon. Let me start with Martha. Martha, how has your year been so far?
I can't complain at this point. It's been okay. We've just started the year.
Nice.
Nothing major. It's been okay.
Mr. Sakite, how has it been for you?
We are now trying to find our footing, coupled with
Mm,
intense academic pressure, so we can't complain. We all
right.
depend on hope,
And hope is seated right here.
of course.
So, Martha, what would be your opening remarks for this very discussion of ours today? Can you give me your opening remarks? The topic is strategy for strategic workforce planning for Gen Z talent. What would be your opening remarks?
Okay. Before I start, I would want to say hello to your audience and Solomon, and then also give a disclaimer. I'm not well. I'm very feverish. I'm in AC, but I'm sweating, so it's not because of anything. I've been up in and out of the hospital, so I had to do this for today. So that's my disclaimer. Thank you for um, um, accepting and then your cooperation. So I think that there's been a lot of talk about preparing and managing Gen Zs, right? And
Yeah.
these generation got caught up in a big change in the workplace, which we'll go in details as we progress in the discussion. But on the flip side, companies were not prepared to handle these crop of new talents entering into the workforce, right? And we as businesses expecting them to compromise and then fit into a workforce that was different from something that they joined in, right? So I think that things like the norms like dress codes, communication, all of those things, communications training, and all of those things that we do when you are onboarding, they don't see the need for this, right? And that's the bit of a challenge with how companies are trying to imbibe Gen Zs into their what do you call it, into their structure and strategy and all of that. So that would be my opinion for today.
Right. Thank you so much, Solomon. Can you
Okay,
give me your opening
so
remarks?
yeah. Mata has focused on the Gen Z, the vis-a-vis their characteristics here and there. So I'll zoom to what we talk about strategic workforce planning. When you are talking about the future needs, talents of a certain generation, where we call Gen Z. So probably these are people from 20 to 28 years within the workspace. How do we align such people to business goals? How do we forecast their needs, the future challenge that they are talking about? And how do we retain such people, considering their characteristics vis-a-vis the older generations that they are coming to integrate with? These are people who have been trained in a certain line, trying to mentor and coach people who also have a different kind of generation which focuses on technology and other stuff. So it makes it a little bit quite interesting. And I think that these are people that maybe the little bit older generation can even learn from, because when it comes to technology tools, integrations, and collaborations, you find them quite proficient. And
Mm,
we think that a hybrid at workplace with such generation is going to be quite interesting, and we need to base ourselves for the reality.
right. So, I mean, let's go deep into the conversation for today. We have realized that Gen Zs are purpose driven, they are tech savvies, they are highly dependent. When you want to speak to Gen Z, you want to be careful what you say, because I mean, these are people who are very independent. From your experience, how do these traits manifest at the workplace? Let me stay with you, Solomon.
Okay, so basically, like I said earlier, these are people who are interested in, like you said, purpose driven. And you see them that at the workplace, they translate such actions or such characteristics into variable outcomes. You see them that they deserve for roles, and then that role should give them personal values, should be integrated in those roles. They always create for independence. Not that they don't want to be supervised, but they want to be highly independent to own the process and the work that has been assigned to them. They equally want an environment that where it is modern technology and they want such digital tools to be available. So you see them sending you WhatsApp, you see them say want to have a Zoom meeting with you, and they want an environment where there should be flexibility in the work models. So to them, it is not about the number of hours that they work. They want you to focus on the outcomes. So, example, you have a national service person that works with you. He just get up and want to send you a WhatsApp that you can't come to work today, but will be able to deliver. So they want us to change and redefine work. They want us to make them understand that okay, at the workplace, I can be at home, set up my own place, and be able to deliver. So they want a hybrid kind of work, whilst the older generation may not necessarily want. And at the workplace too, they want autonomy in decision making and want to be involved. They focus on diversity and inclusion, irrespective of what they bring. They think their opinion and other things has to be respected because they bring certain contributions to the table. You see all these things manifesting at the workplace.
Mm. Awesome. Martha, can you give us your take on it? Whilst you touch on that, you may want to add, is it necessary to even listen to them? I mean, we have been working, we have followed what our predecessors or the years before us, the Gen Ys, what they did. So why should we even listen to the Gen Zs? I mean, why should we listen to them in the first place?
You see, we have to accept it. There's a new generation in the workplace, and they are the Gen Zs. They joined the workforce from 2019. They are the generation from 1995 to 2010. And they joined the workforce when COVID 19 was prevalent. Right? They joined the workforce when remote work, hybrid work, compressed work week, all of these things were like the ish of the town, right, in the workplace. So, and they want the businesses to dance to that tune. COVID is gone, but we expect that they come back and then come to be part, like I said, compromise and be part of a system that was there before COVID-19. But they are saying that no, we worked like this and it worked during COVID-19 where we had the remote work, we had this, we had that. So why do you want to go back to us going to something that is archaic, and all of that? And apart from that, they are the digital citizens, right? They were literally born with technology in their hands. Look at this era of AI. You see, we need, businesses need to listen to them. Unfortunately, sometimes we fall and we fall victims of not wanting to listen to them because we say that they have a lot of demands and all of that. But they have the digital fluency because everything they've known is digital, is technology. It's their time that TikTok is now the issue of the day. It's their time that X, and I mean during millennials and Gen X, there were what do you call it, Twitter and all of that. But now it's like it's everywhere. So in that, and also we need to also know that they have this inherent digitalized where if you do not listen to them, Gen Z's don't mind quitting your job into content creating. They don't mind, and they'll even tell you that will fetch them more money than the 85 jobs, right? So they are the future of the workplace. Trust me, in like 30 years to come, in you and I will not be in the workplace. We'll be in pension 20 years to come. You understand? They are the future of the workforce. So we need to listen to them. And it means that each and every time there is something new happening. Now we have self-driving cars. I'm sure you've watched these foreign movies that they are talking about 2030, you're talking about 2050, and cars driving without tires. These are the generations that will be leading the workforce then. You see, so
Mhm.
we need to listen to them. We need to, in as much as we do not want to, we need to listen to them. So that's what I have to say. Yeah.
I'm glad you made mention of that, because when we look at the American election, prior to the election, Donald Trump came up and said that the Sun played a pivotal role in the election by introducing them to TikTok and then bringing other guys on board. So I mean, it was so crucial for the election of Donald Trump, and I'm glad you mentioned that. But let me stay with you, Mata. What would you say would be the biggest misconceptions that employers have about these Gen Zs? And
Gen
how do
Zs
we
are
bridge the
lazy.
gap?
So they are not lazy. That's the thing. They just want to play hard and work smarter, right? They are
Mm,
not lazy. They don't understand why they should come into the office Monday to Friday and do a work that they can do within 2 hours. So let me give you an example. There was a survey that was given to Gen Zs, right? And then they were asked that would you prefer to come in Monday to Friday, then after work, 85, after work, nobody's bothering you with any tax. Or you'd want to work from home after any time we can call you and give you work, 8 p.m. 97% chose that they will work from home. Call me at 1 a.m. I'll respond and I'll give you your tax. So this is the generation we are talking about, right?
mm.
So yeah.
So Solomon, at the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, where you are bringing in a lot of national service personnel, and I mean this has been an old institution. Do you see some of the misconceptions there, and how do you bridge the gap?
Okay, so first I will just buttress some few points that Martha has raised, and I think I'm a corporate myself when it comes to the misconceptions. Initially, I used to think that this generation there are people who lack interpersonal skills because they are always on their phone. You see them talking, sitting down, everybody's on their phone, and they don't want to interact with each other and here and there. That is a general misconception I used to have. But the truth of the matter is they are just obsessed with digital communication, not necessarily that they are not interested to value collaborations and other things. Another misconceptions that we used to have was that these people, like Martha said, that they are lazy, they want to avoid work here and there. The truth is they want to work smarter, and they prefer proficiency over traditional models of working. And that is the focus that they want. They equally, a lot of people, and I think a lot of employers think that these people lack commitment and loyalty. But I think that these are people, after integrating with them for some time, I realized that these are people who are looking for employers who offer them growth. They are employers, they are looking for employers who give them that meaningful work that they are seeking, and then that flexibility. Because one of the days I engaged one of that, why do you always want to work with flexible time? He told me that he got a side hustle. That was the first time I
Mm,
came in contact with that work. You know, they are interested in gigs and other things, and they have that entrepreneurial
mhm,
interest.
mhm,
And how do we bridge the gap of such misconceptions and other things about this generation with regards to work? I think we need to redefine what is job security at workplace.
mm,
To the older generation, they are looking at job description is sustainability. They want to be stable at workplace, and there's a lifetime job. These people are interested in long-term employability, and these people are interested in these things. So they are not seeking, they are focused on growth, where the ability to grow, and not necessarily have a job that is going to be a stenographer for the next 10 years, 20 years. We must also redefine career paths. There should be clear cuts. It is important. They don't have the patience to wait for 25 years to be a GM or CEO. No, they don't have that patience because to them it's a fast-paced work. And if
mm.
we are able to work on these things, we should be able to uh, move on. And we must be able to offer them, they are interested in continuous learning. So we need to redefine the way we learn. Example, we should have platforms whereby they could be able to do self-learning. They are not interested in traditional learning. We should be able to have collaborative platform just like yours. It will be whether at a KFC, whatever, and they still log on and be able to learn something important. There's no need for him to come to the office to be able to come and then sit and listen to a resource person demonstrating in this traditional learning environment. And then we should be able to create career progressions for such people to be able to retain them. They are interested in growth and they are hungry for that. And that is very important to them. We should also have a structured way of developing them, and it should be seen to be done, not mere words. They want to see commitment from that, and it should be purpose-driven, strategic initiatives. They're interested in wellness and work-life balance. Unlike you and I, that we go every day, we come, and whether sometimes when you are denied leave, you don't even have issues with it. But these people, they will fight back and tell you, hey, I'm entitled to this here and there. So all these things are issues that are emerging that we need to readjust at the workplace. And these people are people we should be able to create a culture of rewarding and recognizing creativity and innovation. These people have that culture of always trying to do new things. And in doing that, they will be able to make little mistakes. But we should be able to let them understand that in their discharge of creativity, the mistakes are learning platform for them to excel. And these people will be able to keep them and integrate them well to the workspace. Sometimes, one key thing, they will get bored if they keep doing one thing for years.
Over time, yeah.
Be able to do job rotation. You can't hire a Gen Z and tell him that for the next 10 years you are going to be a secretary or office assistant or this. No, they are not interested in that. They want to learn new skills because to them, they are interested in reskilling. And like I said, they are interested in lifetime employability. So he knows that if he needs to be able to get, and that is what his focus is. So we should be able to be doing a lot of rotation across functional roles to enable them sharpen their skills and acquire new knowledge from different areas. Otherwise, you keep them in one place, no, they are bored and they want to go.
I mean, you espouse a lot on the side gig of the Gen Zs and then all the things that employers should look out for. I want to ask, so if a Gen Z wants to do a side hustle, he wants to do his own thing. There's a cliche that says that most of them are not really interested in the job security like we may think they are, but I mean, they are not really interested in that. What they are focused more on is what comes to them. So less of job security for them. So how do we blend the expectation of these Gen Zs as to what we want to achieve as a business? You and I understand very well that when you don't have the employees around, I mean, somebody comes and leaves, the attrition rate goes high. We are not able to achieve what we want to achieve. How are we able, as HR practitioners, how can we bring on board these guys who may not necessarily want to be at office almost every time? They want to do this at their own pace. How do we bring them on board so that we are able to achieve business success? I mean, let me still stay with Solomon.
Okay, so like I'm saying, the working environment needs to change. When I started HR practice, there was nothing like diversity and then inclusion and blah, blah, blah. No, but now it is. So we need to create such culture for them to feel that sense of belonging. And then we should be able to initiate work-life balance programs like work flexibility and schedules. We should be able to have remote work or hybrid work, which they are interested in. And then we should be able to give learning stipends. He's interested in always learning. Let him understand that after acquiring proper certifications and other things, there is an opportunity for him to be reimbursed. That is something that is going to retain him within the organizations. It's a clear motivations. And we should be able to support their mental health support and wellness programs. I will share a story with you. There was one national service person that didn't come to school, didn't communicate, didn't come to work, didn't communicate. And then she told me that she said, what, her mental, He said, "What? She's stressed mentally." I mean, and I was wondering, is he okay? And what's the meaning of you coming to work and you're telling me you are mentally stressed? So
I'm depressed.
these are the realities that we are facing as practitioners, and we should be able to adjust because the world has changed. Now, we should be interested in, they are interested in social impact programs that benefit society. So sustainability programs, initiatives, volunteers, and other things. And two, like you said, that they are interested in money here and there. So we should go beyond their salary. We should be able to package some benefits for them. We can look at bonus base, we can look at equity options and other things just to sustain them and keep them. It is important that we do all these things to be able to keep such a generation, and we must respect their opinions too, because they are part of that is the future that we are seeing. I can tell you that the baby boomers that may also look at us, our generations, the millennials and the rest, and they say, "Oh, but work was not like this." Same way, we also find things different with this group of people. So these are some of the interventions we should be able to do to be able to retain them.
Martha, Solomon rightly mentioned about compensation for the Gen Zs. Beyond salary, what are some of the key compensation or benefits that we can give to these guys so that they know that truly we appreciate the work they do? And it should, I mean, being attractive to them so they don't have to be hopping around.
All right. So Solomon did mention something, but I want to just add to that. So
Yeah.
with millennials and Gen X, we join the workforce saying that I want to be in this company for a number of years, then maybe I move on. But Gen Zs are not so. They join, and when they feel like they jump or hop onto the next thing that is available to them, right? So in order to attract them, we need to look at things like Solomon mentioned, looking at the work structure in terms of having remote work, hybrid, benefits, and then apart from money, yes, everybody's money driven, including Gen Zs, right? But we need to also look at other wellness programs. Like he mentioned, mental health is very, very important to Gen Zs. Prior to this program, I had a meeting with 6 Gen Zs, right? And with meeting them, I asked them a few things like, what are some of the things that will let you stay in a business? And some of the things that they mentioned was that one, I need to ensure that the work culture is healthy. Two, someone says as little things like the ambience of their office. Then one person mentioned that money. Then I was like, you are the only person who has mentioned money. Then I asked them that. So which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to be in a culture that will pay you, let's say, X amount of money, 20K Ghana cedis, and then the culture is toxic? They were like, no, my mental health is more important than 20K Ghana cedis. But other generations would say that, hey, don't worry, I'll just look at the money and then I will work, right? So things like work-life balance, having things like a therapist, psychology in-house. These are some of the benefits we should put in. Looking at a vibrant culture, putting things like happy hour in organizations where people can build that relationship with their colleagues, and then also and all of that. One also thing that we should know is that with Gen Zs, there's nothing like pay secrecy. With Generation X and other older generation, pay secrecy is a big thing, right? People don't just speak about their salary. But Gen Zs have group discussions, literally have group discussions about salaries. Okay, so with that, there was in 2023 and 2024, there was a chat happening on TikTok. It's still there, Salary Transparency Street, and then salary transparency bits. If you go on TikTok, you see it's there. Where Gen Zs, over a billion Gen Zs are there telling people how much they are earning. So someone say I'm earning 70K amount of money for the end of the year, and their companies are out there. So it is not there's nothing like pay secrets. Even if you let them sign it, they'll go out and then they'll talk about it. So one, we need to give them equal pay for equal work. One, they need to feel that they are being valued, that they are being paid sufficient amount of money. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, like the gym membership. Some companies don't understand how these things help these people, but you go online, you see Gen Z, some of them doing jogging in the morning, doing content creating. These are some of the things that brings, that. And then other thing too is that I'm sure we'll come to leadership, but also creating opportunity for them to grow. I know companies that have junior ESCO members and then junior leadership team, right? And they tap information and knowledge from these younger generations, and these are some of the things we can incorporate. These are some benefits, and then also transportation or TNT or fuel allowance. These are benefits outside of the main salaries that employers can incorporate to be able to let Gen Z stay longer than that. Also, another article from Harvard Business Review stated that the maximum duration Gen Zs will stay in a company is between I think 2 years ago was 68 months, but now it's increased to 1 year, 2 months. It keeps increasing, but that is it. So in order to keep them, you need to make sure that you put in these things to be able to let them enjoy the workplace. Yes.
Right. Solomon, before I come to you, let me just say a warm welcome to all our guests, participants who just joined us. We are still talking about strategic workforce planning for Gen Z talent. If you are joining us not long, you are welcome. And let me take some messages from the comment section. Komna Dapa is saying that I like what Solomon is saying. Understanding their worldview is definitely the way to go. Erica Nikwe says that well spoken, Mrs. Akite. Michelle says that it will take a while for businesses to adjust. In the meantime, can these young ones understand that until they can start their own businesses, this is life. There are ways of working where they are, and they must learn to adapt. Sakite, do you agree with Michelle? Should they learn to adapt to what we used to have, or we need to change to their standard?
Okay, so the truth of the matter is, this is the talent pool that we have. And these are the people that represent the future, which the future is now. So every generation, I forgot the article I read. The baby boomers work because they need labor, they work for labor. Our fathers work because they need to survive and put basic things together. Our generation had that, but we are doing for a little bit of comfort. These people need flexibility and luxury. So the various needs and underpinning issues influencing people's desire to work are completely different. And these are the future CEOs, these are the future leaders of organizations, businesses, and the rest. What it means is, why didn't we complain when COVID came and we started redefining what work is? Not a place you go, but what you do. These are the demands of the future. So you can't say because there is a rise of gig economy in Ghana and people are interested in the gig economy, remote working, and here and there, you don't want to adapt. You are going to lose because your older generations, when as an HR practitioner, immediately you begin to see that a lot of your employees are old. You should know that there is a huge challenge in the next few years to come. And you should know that your health budget is also going to increase because the older generation you have, the more you spend to maintain them. So it is important that you must also dance to the tune of the world. If it is about people who have power over technology that have control over the world. And the world is not waiting for you as an organization. So irrespective of where you find yourself, whether a private or a public institution or whatever you find yourself, you must begin to align to the new trends and the new demands. Like Matilda was talking about some perks for them. It is also important as an institution to create that digital platform, because that is what they want, so that they be able to support their gig, and they want flexibility that will be able to support them to do remote work for other companies. And years to come, people will be interested in freelancing than any other business, because it fetches a lot. I have a friend, he's my boy, that, I mean, in a night he doesn't sleep. And the amount of money he makes from freelancing and working for organizations, he's an IT driven person. And I keep asking myself, which paycheck in Ghana will give him such an amount? That is the future we are having. It quite be interested that in your organization, maybe basic administrative skills, if they have been automated, issue with regards to recruitment can be freelance to somebody in Pakistan. You'll be in Ghana, you'll be out of business if you don't align yourself to the future. That is the critical aspect that we face as organizations. And as HR practitioners, we must give a listening ear to the people that you manage, because business without people is nothing. That is the most important asset you have. And these are the people you are bringing for the future.
Right. Martha, Solomon rightly mentioned about the gig economy. Giving the rise to the gig economy and remote work, how can HR leaders in Ghana rethink the benefits to align with Gen Z's needs? I mean, the gig economy has come to stay, and we have the remote work post-COVID and all that. How can HR leaders rethink the benefits?
So, where the world is going, right? The only companies that can survive would be companies that are very adaptable, right? And with this gig economy, some companies have maybe 5 to 8, and that is it. Beyond that, we cannot do anything else. Other companies have shift system. Outside of that, you cannot do anything else. I remember that I recruited a graphic designer in the past, and they did mention that if it is not freelance, like Solomon mentioned, they are not going to do it, because they can be in the comfort of their homes and put in the design. They don't have to be in the office. So as a business, if you need this talent, it means that if you do not have freelance as part of your strategy or processes, you need to have that to be able to, so it's more of results. Okay, so as HR professionals, I think that the best way for us is to advise businesses as partners on how the world is shifting and how to put in strategies and processes to be able to adjust to meet how the world is going. Like Solomon mentioned, they are the future CEOs, they are the future CPOs, CROs, right? So if we are unable to dance to that tune now, we are heading towards doom, because it would be a big change for us in the future, and then it could also harm us more than being good to us, because then a crop of them will come with different strategies, different processes that we may even have a very instant impact to the business, that businesses may not be able, some businesses may not be able to withstand that. So now what HR managers and professionals could do is to start to advise, the senior leadership team, board, on how to adjust processes, how to adjust and strategies to be able to meet these future leaders of our businesses.
Right, Master. Still stay with you. On the issue of upscaling and rescaling for the Gen Zs, they prioritize continuous learning and skill development. What would you say HR leaders should use, or what innovative approaches should HR leaders use to upskill or reskill this crop of young guys?
So this is the Gen Z generation. when you're not training them or upskilling them, they are upskilling themselves, right? They are always learning things from social media. They are not waiting for you to come and train and upskill them. However, for them not to say that, after all, I'm gaining my own knowledge, so why was there the need to why is there the need to be with your business? After all, I'm not getting any growth from where I'm not getting any growth from where I am. So in terms of things like this, what businesses can do is that, one, we need to put a structure in place where we give them continuous learning. And also, the learning should not be the traditional come to the office, let's meet at this point. There are so many avenues where we can learn. There are so many platforms. There are so many things. And these learning should be in line and in tune with what they want to do, right? Not just training them amidst, like sometimes we do. This is a training the entire company is having, so they have to do it. No, but rather training them on, sorry, but rather training them on things that will benefit them, where they see that it's very important for them to grow in that aspect. So businesses need to constantly upskill employees, not just Gen Zs, but particularly Gen Zs, and then also training them or not, they would still train themselves. So the mistake sometimes is when we say that we will train them with, we will retain Gen Zs with money, but rather it's not always about money. It's about them seeing that this business that I have joined, I have gained a lot of knowledge, I have gained a lot of insight, and I have grown from where I came from. That is something that we could also inculcate or imbibe in businesses that could help us grow on that side. Yeah.
Right. I mean, for the Gen Zs, there are a lot of learning platforms. The Coursera's, the LinkedIn Learning, or all those learning platforms are made available. Briefly, Solomon, can a company, how useful would this be to a company if they want to upskill their employees? Would it be a good idea for them to subscribe their employees to this platforms? Probably pay a premium or pay something small for them to learn.
Okay, so one of the strategies you need to adopt when you pay their subscriptions, those who have internationally recognized certifications, which is very critical to the organization.
Right.
These are skills that are very rare, so you need to pay their subscriptions as a form of motivations. Organizations that have to maintain Gen Z must automatically also subscribe to these learning platforms. It's very critical and important because they are interested in self-learning. They are also interested, and we must also, so how do we harness such potentials? Not all of them are that A-class people, so we should be able to create a knowledge sharing platforms within the organization so that those who acquire such a knowledge and are fast paced will be able to transfer the knowledge to other people to also benefit. We must also encourage peer-to-peer learning, and this, I don't know how they call them, these AI powered tools and other things that we call it digital platforms that they do. They should be able to subscribe. So an organization must be able to even support their remote work. Example, those people who will be able to set up temporary offices in their homes should be able to support them with internet connectivity here and there. I I once worked when I was with Worldwide. I didn't know that was remote working because that was those days we didn't know about remote working. But what they do, because of our time frame, because we have people in Singapore, people in India and the rest, in Ghana and Nigeria, so our time zones are completely different. So they will set up internet facility for you at home. We'll give you BlackBerry Board as a manager that you'll be able to have access so that you will not give. So initially we thought it's luxury, but we realized we were working 247 at every given period. It was a motivation for them to say, okay, sometimes we set up satellites so that we can be able to do video conferencing whilst you are home, because whilst it's maybe in the night in Ghana or daytime somewhere here and there, we will be able to do these things to support these Gen Zs who who that is their design, that is the new work, life of work. Now, how is the organization going to benefit from this? It is important, and when you check the labor law, it is binding on the organizations to train its employees to be able to acquire the needed skills to be able to deliver. So first, you have the obligations to be able to train your employees. So don't see it as as what's the right word to use? As you are doing them a favor.
Favor.
No, it is not a favor. It is your responsibility to train them so that they will be able to deliver value to the business. The shareholders will be happy. So seizing opportunities and giving them such support system so that they'll be able to deliver the value that you derive, it is important. Now, the organization will be able to also achieve benefit from it by redefining the KPIs that you use to measure the outcomes. It is quite important where they understand, and it doesn't mean that you will not do check-ins as we used to do whilst you're at the workplace, that they come in here and there. So you can start with a hybrid work, and the organization will be able to achieve benefit from it when they begin to set up project-based upskilling through internal gigs. Okay, so your business want to set up another new project. These are people that you think you have few talents that people put them together for them to work at it. It is important that such projects they learn from it and the organization begin to what to gain from it. Example, my IT department, some of the softwares that we are using were developed by, and the Gen Zs are part of it, because we said we want to be to have paperless ports. It is important that all the processes from end to end should be automated. And these are the platforms that you see these Gen Zs integrated in the project with the senior people, and it is cross-functioning within the organization. They've learned a certain skill. Whilst they move from department to be playing different roles, they keep transferring those knowledge, and the skills they acquire from the cross-functioning roles also add to the organization's overall goal.
Thank you so much. Mata, briefly, our time is fast spent. Briefly, Rita Daku is asking, how do you manage these employees in the health industry? Doctors, nurses, and pharmacists, how do you manage them? And then let me just put it together so you can just answer them once and for all for me. So there are two questions. How do you manage these employees who are in the health service industry, doctors, nurses, and pharmacists? And then some of the agencies are not ready to learn. How do you manage that for me? Briefly.
This is a very tough question, especially in the health sector. Um, I've had experience in going to one of these health sectors where you have a Gen Z doctor and they are on their phone and and all of that. But I think that in general, Gen Zs want to be acknowledged. One, and with the acknowledgement, they would want to be able to be acknowledged from the beginning. So other generations would want to be celebrated at the end of everything. But in terms of Gen Zs, they want to be appreciated and noticed from the start to the end. So in terms of managing employees in the health sector, I would say that get to understand them. There are some Gen Zs that behave like millennials. There are some Gen Zs that behave like the older generation. So maybe they may handle different things, but in terms of this, you need to put in structures that will benefit them. I already know that with the health sector they have this shift system and all of those things. Try to inculcate them, try to involve them in drawing the rota and all of that. They want to be involved in the decision making. Try to put in I don't know what's happening in the health sector, but as you're making decisions from the top, we are in a generation where decisions that comes from the top do not work anymore. That is why employee surveys will tell we are doing employee surveys in this employee satisfaction surveys, employee engagement surveys, where we want decisions that people have given us to do from the bottom up, right? So in situations like this, it would be best for them to have, like I said, a senior leadership team, some few members down there to be able to know what they want, and then and be able to put them into the decision making as they are planning for the business. So that is how best you'll be able to manage them. Because if you don't do what they want, they will grumble, they will murmur, and you may not have engaged employees. Yeah.
And I think someone asked,
Yeah.
some of the judges are not ready to
Oh,
learn. How do you
okay.
manage it?
Oh,
Yes, Solo. Yeah, Solo.
I want to add to what my sister has said.
Yeah, briefly. Yeah.
So I think the Ministry of Health is even trying to reform some of their policies to integrate to the new world.
Right.
Because now their system has been integrated. You don't need to be carrying your folder from one place to the other. Now you can call hope. I think when you are home and you have some basic headaches, you call your medical doctor for consultation. Now we have mobile clinics. These are the new things that they must understand, that the traditional way of working is changing. So Ministry of Health, all they need to do, or Ghana Health Service, is to set clear expectations and outcomes. They must not necessarily be focusing on when work is done and micromanaging the issues. That is a way of a clear departure, that and ability to implement flexible work. There are doctors that would love to. They used to have, they say, telemedical something, where people come on TV and other things. They consult people, do a lot of video conferences to be able to consult for people instead of going to the hospital. They do that. Now, mobile clinics that go to the various places, these are all reforms that they are coming to the system. A day will come that you will just give your symptoms online, and then doctor will be able to give you a clear, unless you need to go for laboratory and other allied health services before you be able to go. So I have not worked within the health sector and the industry and its nuances and dynamics, but from sitting back, we could be able to see that even the ministry and the health service is going through reforms to be able to adjust. And they must redefine what work is. It is important that they redefine what work is and the kind of services that can be accessed via online, those that cannot be accessed via online, how it can be accessed. And everybody will be fine. Now, there was a question that people, the Gen Zs, don't want to learn. It depends on what you call learning. Learning has to be redefined with this generation. So if you want to teach them the outmoded way of doing things, they are not willing to do it. Because this is a Gen Z that he said, this is the way we draft memo. He's not be willing to learn how to write A and this. He would prefer to go online and be able to modify it. I mean, a few days ago, one of my boys told me that there is a new app called DeepSeek. And I said, what is he seeking? Then he told me, then he began to educate me about what it is. He said he'll be able to comprehensively, because he brought a paper and I'm teaching. I said, okay, this letter you wrote, you should cancel here, 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 here. The grammar should be there. He told me that I'll be writing this from 1960 up to now. We don't want to change it. You understand the way they are. So it's not that they want to learn. They want to learn in a different way. And we must begin to appreciate that, no, what learning constitutes must be different other than the old way of doing things. And that is where the challenge is.
Right. Okay. So, in conclusion, let me ask my final question. Gen Zs expect to have a say in workplace decisions. Okay. How can organizations create channels to involve them in shaping workforce strategies? Let's take that briefly. Solomon, you can go ahead and then answer the question, and then Martha will have her bite of it.
Okay. So one of the key things is to rely on feedbacks. You can also carry out employee surveys regularly to be able to make their inputs, anonymous ones. And these are people who are bold enough. They are not that timid generation. They are people who speak their mind, and they'll be able to give you genuine feedback for them, for their voice to be recognized. There are organizations that you see them have that boxes that they paste on the wall here and there. If you go to Ghana Post and those institutions, you will see them. You must also create use employee engagement programs here and there to be able to get, when you do staff database and other things, you might be able to departmental meetings. You should be able to seek their opinion, incorporate them in what you do. And their opinion matter. I think Matter has dealt with that issue extensively, so I don't want to belabor it. And when you involve them in cross-functional projects and innovation lab to provide them with the opportunities to be able to be strategic, I mean, they feel that their initiatives and other things they bring on board 2 days ago, I was evaluating my employees, and one said I should give him initiative 9. Then I asked, what have you done? What have you initiated within the period for me to give you 9 out of 10? Then the lady told me that this idea, it was her idea. This idea, she made a suggestion at the meeting, and I said, wow. So you see that she feels that whatever opinion that she's bringing has been, and because of that, she has seen it being implemented. She thinks she deserves 9 for the year. Even though the nitty-gritty and the strategy to make it work perfect, but she feels that she was the initiator. The incubation of the idea emanated from her, and that she deserves a recognition for that, and that we should give her 9 over 10 on her annual appraisal. So these are how we can integrate their voices in workforce planning.
Right. Martha, your take on this?
So we need to recognize Gen Z's unique communication style first thing. They prefer concise, visual, and direct interaction. Solomon says clear expectations and clear strategy, what is expected of them. They want that. But they grew up with instant access to information. You know, those times you need to wait and get when it's 6, I mean during those times 6 p.m. you wait. If you have a radio, then you remember, then we listen to the news on GBC before you can get access to information. Or you have a father that works in one of these government agencies that is able to bring home with a newspaper that you get to read, or you have the privilege to do that. But now they have the access to information is everywhere to them. And to be honest, we need to they appreciate transparency, right? And they want to have that. So in doing so, what companies can do is include them into their planning process by one, having focus group discussions to understand what their viewpoints are, what they think that could help grow the business. Two, we can look at buddy system. That's something that companies can also incorporate. When we say buddy system, when we have these new crop of individuals in the workplace, we buddy them with experienced people.
Yeah,
In doing
very.
so, when we have the buddy system, as they are buddying with experienced people, they both of them get to share and incorporate both others knowledge and skill and experience. So Gen Z will bring their tech knowledge and experience, and then the older generation will bring their other experience to it, and that is how we grow. Using Solomon's typical example of the Gen Z saying that I brought this initiative, I've said it here, they want recognition. They want to be recognized from the start to the end, not to the end and you brashly mention their name. No, they want you to say that, oh, it was so and so that started this initiative, right? So that is how we can incorporate them, right? Because they are the digital workforce. So yes.
Right. So, Martha, kindly give me your concluding remarks. Whilst you do that, let me identify with the Gen Zs by wearing my cap, unlike Solomon, who is not part of the Gen Zs. I want to identify with them. So, Martha, kindly give us your concluding remarks, please.
All right, so I have two statements to make. The first one is from Johnny C. Taylor. He's a president of SHARE. He said that the workplace is evolving, right? And it's up to us as the older generation to lead that evolution. So we need to be able to lead it by incorporating these younger generations into our decision making, into our strategy. Then my final thing is also from Nelson Mandela, who said that the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow, which perfectly encapsulates the essence of Gen Zs in the workplace. So that's my closing remarks. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Solomon.
So for me, my final thoughts are I want my colleague HR practitioners, business owners, employers, and everybody to know that to attract and retain a Gen Z, company must adapt to their needs while balancing business priorities in all this. And they must also focus on digital innovation, flexibility, and then career growth and purposeful driven work. For me, I think that Gen Z brings unique strength and strategic work and then strategic workforce planning must cater for their needs and expectations, and it should be communicated with clarity. We must also, as HR leaders, be able to prioritize technology and inclusivity because they want to be integrated into our folds. I also want my colleague HR practitioners to invest in the Gen Z today to ensure a resilient workforce in the future that is yet to come. Gen Z is not the future of work. They are the present. So strategic planning is key to unlocking their full potentials. And together, we'll make Ghana great again.
Thank you so much. So if you have been with us, it has been the HR Roundtable, and we have been discussing strategic workforce planning for Gen Z talent. And I've been doing this together with Solomon Tete Sakite and then Mata Safua Boache. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation, and thank you for all the insightful and thought-provoking insights you've given us. When I go to the chat, the comment section, Kobina Dapa has made some remarks too. So Gen Zs want work-life fit than the balance. This, just like Solomon said, they want work that fits their ambitions, not the other way around. Michelle says that I hear young people who quit their jobs because their manager will not agree to remote work. To think that they would rather be jobless is quite shocking. Welcome to their world. Am I the only one? Oh, sorry. So this we've gone past that. So it says that reverse mentoring should be encouraged in our workplaces. We should encourage knowledge sharing between Gen Zs and senior employees. Thank you so much. The also says that when it comes to compensation and benefits, I believe Gen Zs want value, not necessarily being competitive. Nikwe says Gen Z would definitely love data bonuses. Right. Thank you so much. I can't read all of them. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for joining us. And we wish to come back to you in the shortest possible time. And the next topic I'm sure we're going to interest you a lot. This program has been brought to you by Proudly HR Certification Center, and they are the proud providers of, or approved providers of, Associate Professional in Human Resources International, Professional in Human Resource International, Senior Professional in Human Resource International. If you haven't certified yet as an HR, trust me, you are doing yourself a lot of harm. You can kindly contact them on a 0244 122 855. I take it again, 0244 122 855. They will be able to help you to get certified, because as an HR, you need to get your certification. In fact, all of us here are certified. Martha is certified, Solomon is certified, myself, I'm certified. All of us have our SPHRI. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for the HR Roundtable. We look forward to meeting you one more time in the coming weeks and months. It's been a pleasant one. And then thank you so much. And I look forward to meeting you one more time. Kudos. Bye-bye to all of us.
HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard.
Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.
HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard